Hello, and welcome back to the channel. As most of you know, I'm Topher. And for those of you who don't know and just randomly decided to click on my video, welcome to the channel. I'm Topher. Thank you for stopping by. So it is officially 2022. We made it through another year of Rona. Lord, looks like we're strapping in for Rona season 3. Lord, I hope not, but we made it. We made it. We survived, and we're here. We're here. 2022 is going to be an amazing year. But I just wanted to give you guys a little update, kind of a little recap summary of what 2021 was. A lot of amazing things happened on the channel. A lot of changes happened on the channel, and it's just amazingness. You guys have been amazing. So first and foremost, we crossed another milestone. We hit 30,000 subscribers on the channel. Yes, you guys are amazing. 30,000. It happened on the 30th of December. So literally there was one day left. And my goal was, because as December was going on, I could see us getting closer to 30,000, but we were still probably like, I don't know, 1,200, 1,000 something away by the beginning of December. And I'm like, we can do this. We can make it to 30,000 by the end of December. And I was hoping that we would. So like the 11th hour, one day left in the year, and we crossed over into the 30,000 territory, and it made me so happy. So thank you to everybody who recently joined and recently subscribed. Thank you to everybody who's been subscribed for a long time. Thank you to everybody who's been subscribed since the beginning. I love all of you. I love you. You're all amazing. But speaking of subscribers, in 2021 the channel gained a total of 12,162 subscribers. That is huge for me. I know that there are plenty of other YouTubers out there whose growth rate is even more exponentially bigger than mine and whatnot, but you know what? We're not here comparing. As far as I'm concerned, that is amazing. That is huge, especially since like I've got 30,000, a little over 30,000 subscribers now. So if you do the math, that's about like 40% of my subscriber count happened in the last year. So I was about to say I don't know what happened, but I know exactly what happened. I know what happened last year. In addition to doing music, I dove into the world of BL series, which those of you who follow only my music reactions and don't know what a BL series is, well, that's pretty much all the non-music stuff that you've been seeing posted to my channel ever since April, March, one of those spring months. One of those spring months is when I first started reacting to the series Game Boys, and that opened up a whole world of content, a whole genre I didn't know existed, and that opened up the world to the Philippines. Well, more so, I was already very big into the Philippines with my music reactions, but that opened up more of the world to the Philippines. That opened me up to South Korea, Taiwan, Thailand. I've done some stuff in Japan. I'm working on a series in China right now. I think I've reacted to trailers for a series in crap, I forget the name of the country. But needless to say, lots of countries, lots of series, just a whole world has opened up and it's been life changing. Like, I have spent so much money on BL merch over the last like 7-8 months, however long it's been since I first started Game Boys. I have spent so much money on BL merch. I've bought mangas and novels. I've all kinds of stuff, but I love it. I love it so much. And this is one of those things that I've talked about in like past update videos, how reasons I love having this channel is because it really feels like a community. It's not just, hey, this is my channel, I'm gonna do whatever I want. Sometimes it's that way because sometimes I just want to react to certain things I want to react to, and you know, it's my fucking channel, I'll react to whatever I want to. But for the most part, like, it's a collective community, and we have discussions and we talk about things, and you guys broaden my horizons and open up my world to so many things that I never would have thought of. Like, the first couple years of my life, Lord. Well, yes, that too. But the first couple years of my channel, like, it was all music reactions, and like I mentioned there, as soon as I started reacting to like Filipino artists, same kind of thing where there's so many amazing Filipino artists and just artists around the world that I probably never would have come across. That I never would have come across my radar, probably never would have heard of a day in my life if it hadn't been for me having this channel and people recommending, hey, you should listen to this person. And then that person led me to down a rabbit hole to someone else, to someone else, to someone else. And like, there's so much international music in my playlist. Even if I can't say the words or if I don't understand the language perfectly or whatnot, still, good music is good music. I love good vocals. I love good music. Music that makes me want to move, that makes me want to dance, that makes me want to cry. Like, I've got so much amazing international music and domestic music, but so much international music that I never would have come across if it wasn't for people recommending things on this channel. So the same thing happened last year with the BL series. So many amazing series and some less amazing series, but so many series that I've reacted to that have just been just life-changing, world-changing. It's just like, oh my God, this is so, so beautiful. Because I remember growing up and like, yeah, I always had the captions on the TV whenever I was watching anything, really. It really, I think, just started as a way to annoy my older brother, and then it just kind of became habit, and I just got used to seeing things there. I never really read them for anything, I just liked having them there. But I remember, like, growing up and, you know, even in, like, high school and whatnot, people recommend like certain films or whatnot. I'm like, I don't do international stuff because I don't like to read. I don't like to read. It's gonna be too hard. I'm not here for that. And I even had this conversation with one of my coworkers recently, because he made a similar kind of claim where it's like, I don't like to read. I can't watch, you know, international stuff. I don't do subtitles, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, girl, you got to give it a chance, because like, I have that same mentality. But then I started reacting to BL series, and I'm like, Lord, you'd be amazed how second nature it becomes, how easy it becomes to just read and look at the screen, read and look at what's happening there. Like, it's second nature. So like, that alone opened up my world to, you know, watching international stuff, even outside of the BL genre, just opening up myself to watch stuff from other countries with subtitles, and, you know, not worrying about, oh, I can't be bothered with reading, blah 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 blah. It's such a close-minded, trivial way of thinking, and I kicked myself in the ass for, you know, having that thought process. But I was young, I was naive, I didn't know any better, and now I do, because you guys are amazing. You guys opened up my world to all of that, so thank you. So yes, that had a lot to do with the spike in views and the spike in subscribers last year. Speaking of views, like last year, where's that statistic? I had a total of 2,662,230 views approximately on the channel, which again is huge. Yes, there are so many other YouTubers out there who have so many more millions upon millions upon millions of views, but like for me, crossing 1 million views was a big deal a couple years ago. And like, when I looked at my lifetime just like viewership, like what was the number? My lifetime on the channel, I have 5,215,741 views. So that means that over half of my views that I've had on my channel, I've had this channel for like little over 3 years at this point, half of my views happened last year. Last year was massive. It was so big on this channel, and I love it. I love to see the growth. I love it. Let's see, what other statistics do we have? Watch time. You guys watched for a total of 260,993.2 hours of content on my channel last year. So almost 261,000 hours. Like, if we do the math, hold on, 261,000 hours, divide that by 24, that's 10,875 days. Divide that by 365. We'll exclude leap years right now. That is 29.8 years. You guys have watched 29.8 years worth of content on my channel last year. That is insane for me to think about, but I love it. I love looking at these year-end statistics because they just, honestly, they make me kind of want to cry a little bit. It's nothing that I ever thought would happen I've told the story a million times over. Whenever I first started this channel, it was just on a whim because my little sister was like, hey, you should do reaction videos because I think people would enjoy you. And I'm like, no, nobody's going to want that. There's so many people out there who do reactions. There's so many people out there with so many different viewpoints and blah 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 blah. Nobody's like, what am I gonna offer? Nobody's gonna want that. So to see like just these kind of numbers all these years later, it blows my mind, and it is so crazy, and I am so thankful. Y'all don't know how thankful I am for you guys and everything you've done for the channel. It's mind-boggling. When it comes to my top viewed videos of last year, surprised me a little bit because I was expecting it to be more music inspired, but no, a lot of it was BL series, which makes sense. But the actual videos themselves surprised me because, again, yes, I was expecting BL series and some music stuff, but I wasn't expecting these. So like, apparently my top viewed video of last year was my reaction video to episodes 1 and 2 of Long Time No See, with 40,551 views. And I'm like, that is crazy. That is crazy to me because, again, that series wasn't a huge one. I didn't think it was a huge one. I didn't think that many people were watching it. Like, I love the series. It was very, very short, very, very sweet. I think I only had like 3 reaction videos to it because I just did like 2 episodes, 1 episode, boom, done. So yeah, the series was a very short set of reaction series for me, and like, it felt like one of those series that was just kind of under the radar for a lot of people. It wasn't one of the ones that was being talked about a lot. Like last year when I first started, there was all the talk about Game Boys, Guys Saw Pellicula, Hello Stranger, Until We Meet Again, I Promised You the Moon, I Told Sunset About You, and, you know, some of these bigger, heavy-hitting, like, well, not even long-standing at that point, but some of these bigger, heavy-hitting series. And that one was one, I think someone just recommended it to me, and I didn't hear anybody talking about it, so it shocked me when I took up these statistics and I saw that that was my top viewed video. My second top viewed video of the year was Gabriel Henrique's Emotions cover. Then my third top viewed video was Color Rush episode 1, which again, I enjoyed the series, but I didn't think that there were that many people watching the series. I just felt like it wasn't one of the big talked about series. I was expecting to see like Game Boys, Guys Saw Pellicula, one of those other series on the channel. But I guess since these series weren't super duper being talked about at that particular point, I might have been one of the only people talking about them. So maybe that's why those views are there, because there wasn't anybody else talking about them. That might have been the case. I don't know. But either way, it blows my mind. When it comes to watch time in hours, my most watched playlists. My top playlist for last year was my reactions to Until We Meet Again, with 4,690 hours worth of watch time. My second was my top 10 playlists were all BL series, all BL. Music doesn't come into the picture, I think, until like number 11 or 12 with the Stray Kids, which, again, they were very, very new. They didn't come in until like November. So I'm surprised that they were able to work themselves up versus some of the other playlists that I've had long standing. But yeah, my top 10 playlists were Until We Meet Again reactions, History 3 Trapped, Why Are You, Color Rush, Game Boys, finally, History 3 Make Our Days Count, Tonhon Chon Lati, surprisingly, because so many people were hating on that series. To My Star, History 4, which again, that's one that started in December, so to have that even rank in the top 10 is crazy to me. Guys Saw Pellicula underneath that, which I'm like, y'all, it blows my mind. It blows my mind. What other statistics do we have? I promise this video is not just gonna be all about statistics. It's just when I saw these year-end statistics, they made me so excited. They made me happy, and I've been rambling about them for 15 minutes. So I'm gonna wrap up the statistic part of this video, I promise. So obviously the majority of my views came from the Philippines, which is not a surprise because I've mentioned so many times the majority of my viewers or subscribers are in the Philippines. I think 40 or 44% of my viewers are in the Philippines, and that's not even including like Filipino people elsewhere in the world. Those are just people registered in the Philippines on YouTube. So 24% of my 2 million or 2.5 million views came from the Philippines, 20% came from the US, and then the numbers drastically dip after that. So the US and the Philippines have always been like my top 2 countries as far as subscribers and viewers and whatnot, and then everybody else, like I'm in all these different countries around the world, but the numbers greatly shrink after that point. Let's see. My audience by age and gender. Apparently my channel is most popular with men between the ages of 18 and 24. No, actually, no. Well, yes, men and women between the ages of 18 and 24. That seems to be where the popular spike is. Oh, no, those are women. Oh, hold on. Wait, I'm totally reading this wrong. Hold on. Hold on. Record scratch. I was greatly mistaken. No, women love my channel. Okay, shout out to the ladies. Yes. No. Yes, so women... The highest viewership criteria I have here is women 18 to 24 with 21.2% of the views. And then the highest watch time, again, is women 18 to 24 years old with 22.9% of my hours of watch time. So man, y'all need to catch up. I was really excited thinking I had me some, decently aged men who were looking at me, but apparently not. It's all just the ladies, which, hey ladies, how y'all doing? But man, come on. All right, so those are all the statistics I have. There's probably more statistics I could find, but I've bored y'all enough with statistics. So yes, thank you to everybody who's just been a part of this journey thus far, and we're just gonna keep on trucking towards that 100,000. I want that silver play button. I don't know when it's gonna come, but I want it. That's just like my short-term goal, silver play button. After that, I don't know what the hell's gonna happen with the channel. The silver play button, I want it. But while we're talking stats, the last week or so of December was a huge increase in my Patreon subscribers, which I don't know what happened in that week. I started doing reactions to a series, The Novelist, which I had to post on Patreon because it was being blocked on YouTube. But like everything on my Patreon, those reactions were free and open to the public. So you don't have to subscribe to my Patreon to watch anything that's there. I just use Patreon as a holder for stuff that gets blocked on YouTube. So okay, you can't watch on YouTube because YouTube's blocking it, but it's over here. Here's a link, go watch it. It's free. You don't have to pay anything. So people who subscribe to my Patreon are choosing to subscribe to it. They're not getting free perks or something like that, or hidden footage or anything like that. They're just choosing to support me, and I appreciate them so much. I appreciate all of you, whether you are a patron, whether you were previously a patron, whether you've never been a patron. I appreciate everybody who's just been involved with this channel. But yeah, it's crazy that I think I gained 10 or 15 patrons in just the last week of December, which I was that's crazy for me, because normally my patron numbers, I'll get 1, maybe 2 every couple months. I'll lose a couple, gain a couple more, blah blah blah. But it's very a slow trickle. But the last week of December, I was just getting notification, so and so subscribed, so and so subscribed, so and so became a patron. So I'm damn, what the hell did I post, and where is more of it? Because I'm loving these notifications. So thank you to everybody who is a patron. Thank you to everybody who was a patron in the past and may no longer be a patron for whatever reasons. Thank you for supporting me at some point in time. Thank you for everybody who's considered being a patron. I will say, if you ever do consider becoming a patron of me or anybody, do it towards the beginning of the month. Because I always feel bad whenever I get a notification about someone joining my Patreon, and it's near the end of the month. Because Patreon, I feel back when I first started my Patreon, they had the options for you as a subscriber to select when you wanted to be charged, either at the beginning of the month or at your 30-day cycle, 30 day after you sign up. But they've changed it to where now all charges are happening at the beginning of the month, regardless of when you start. So if you subscribe to my Patreon or anyone's Patreon on December 29th, then 3 days later, come January 1st, you're going to be charged again. So it's so to avoid, that sort of double charge, if you consider becoming a patron of mine or anybody, I would recommend doing it towards the beginning of a month so that you get the full month's worth of, Patreon-ness without having to, 2 days and then bam, you're getting charged again. No, that's just free tips out there. But yeah, so thank you to everybody who's been a supporter on Patreon. I talked on BL series. I'm in the middle of like 4 or 5 of them right now, and there's probably like another 3 that I started that I did like 1 episode of, I think in the beginning of December, just to kind of test the waters, that I need to go back and finish there. And then I've got like an endless list of them, so y'all keep recommending them. There's so many amazing ones. There's just not enough time for me to get to all of them, so I get to them when I can get to them. I apologize if it's not fast enough, but y'all, I'm busting my ass out here. I'm trying. I will get to them as soon as I can. As far as stuff that's upcoming, I know that I've got the poll on the community tab of my channel voting for what the next history series is that we're going to dive into, because we've already done History 3 Trapped, History 3 Make Our Days Count, and History 4 Close to You. So I think right now the 2 leading ones are the 2 History 2 series. I forget which one's in the lead. I think Crossing the Line's in the lead. But I'll probably give that like another week or so and then start into that. There are a number of series that I've reacted to in the past that, you know, got blocked on YouTube. So then, like I said, I put them over on Patreon so people can watch them and it's free and all that kind of stuff. But I know sometimes, because all my videos are hosted on like my Google Drive, because that's just seemed to be the easiest place that I could house an abundance of videos that people could play at their leisure. But I've noticed recently, and I've Googled to see, okay, what's this problem, what's the resolution, and Google ain't got no damn resolution for it. Useless, I swear, tech support sometimes. But where, like, if the video gets watched too many times within a certain span of time, then if you try to go play it, it just gives you this error message of, oh, video exceeded playback something another, and can't be played right now, and you have to like come back later or something. So like there's some ways around that. Like some people just, instead of trying to play it through Google Drive, just download the episode and then watch it at their leisure on their computer or whatever. That's one way you can go about it. But if you don't want to download, which I'm completely understand, I'm hesitant about downloading stuff from people's Google Drive that I ain't never met before. But in recent months, I've also been posting alternate links. So like I'll upload the reactions to Facebook, my Facebook page, and use that as an alternate link, and that seems to have been working out pretty well. But I know there are some older series that I had on Patreon that I didn't have alternate links for, because I wasn't running into that issue with Google Drive at that particular point in time. So you might be seeing some of those older reactions just like popping up again, potentially. Just me, you know, either knowing more about the system and how to do disputes on YouTube, or, you know, posting them elsewhere. So like Where Your Eyes Linger is one that I think the first episode ended up working fine, or it ended up getting blocked and I disputed it, but I wasn't confident about the whole dispute process. I hadn't really done the dispute process a whole lot at that particular point, so then I just defaulted and put stuff on Patreon. But then after the fact, like months and months, I saw where that first episode, it made it through the dispute process, because I don't think anybody actually responded to it after 30 days, so it just automatically was like, oh, okay, you're cool, we're past. So that was perfectly fine. So I've re-uploaded the remaining reactions of Where Your Eyes Linger. I have them just kind of unlisted, but they've been added to the playlist. So at some point, I've submitted the disputes for those already. So at some point, once those disputes are done with and cleared and all that kind of stuff, I'll be, you know, unlocking those, or, you know, making them public and whatnot. So you'll see notification, oh, he's reacting to Where Your Eyes Linger. It's not a new reaction. It's just me putting the full-length reaction available there so people can see stuff and whatnot, and don't have to try and deal with the Google Drive and all that drama. Let's see, what else? I said BL reactions, I've done BL stuff. December, at least the first couple weeks of December were, you know, the average output, because I was touring and doing all that kind of stuff, so I didn't have an abundance of extra time. But the last 2 weeks of December were massive outputs as far as this channel is concerned, because for the majority of my job, I think there was only one job that I was working for those 2 weeks of December. The rest of the jobs were all off for the winter holiday. So I had basically 2 weeks off, with the exception of a few days that I went in and worked a few hours at, this one job. So I had an abundance of time to dedicate to making content on this channel, and I made a hell of a lot of content the last 2 weeks of December. So many reactions got pushed out. But now that we are getting, the holiday season's over and we're getting back into the normal swing of things, I expect my production rate to kind of drop back down to a normal pace, maybe one video a day, or 2 videos a day, or one every couple days or something like that. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, you've probably already noticed the decline in the amount of things that I've been putting out the last few days since the new year. Just because, yes, back to work, back to stuff. And I've also been trying to just balance my time a little bit better, because I tend to be one of those people who goes hardcore all in for one thing and I kind of neglect other things. And I've talked about it before. So I try to make it a habit the last few days of 2021 to just end the year trying to balance things a little bit better. So rather than, okay, I have the day off, let me spend the whole day recording and editing, I was like, okay, I have the day off, let me go to the gym. Let me go to the pool, because I'm in Florida and for whatever reason it's the end of December, we're in the middle of winter and it's still 80 something degrees outside. So let me go to my pool and hang out, chill, have a glass of wine, whatever it is. All right, I've done stuff. Now let me go do some laundry. All right, now let me go record. So I'm trying to find this balance of not dedicating everything to all my free time to recording, but also not neglecting it either. So there'll be some decline in the amount of stuff that I put out in January. Well, maybe. We'll see. Probably. Because, again, I'm just trying to balance. I'm trying to balance just other things. My kitchen will hopefully be finished. It is almost done. This kitchen's been the bane of my existence for the last 3 months. But it is almost done with the repairs. We keep running into issues and finding other things that need to be repaired or blah, 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 or replaced. And it's like, oh my God, this is a pain in the ass. But my kitchen is almost done, and I will have... As soon as that's done, I'm going to be spending a lot of time in that kitchen. I've got a lot of baking to make up for. I've got new coworkers that have been with us for months who have only heard about my baking in legend from my other coworkers. Who are like, oh my God, he makes this, he makes that, he does so many amazing things, but they haven't been able to experience yet because I haven't had a fucking kitchen. So I'm so excited to be able to get back to my kitchen. So that's one thing that I want to spend some time with. Obviously, I want to spend some time back at the gym. I've gotten myself back into the habit a little bit. I want to keep that up. If the weather stays the way it is, then I'll spend some time, in the pool, whatever. And, just enjoying different things, but also doing my YouTube stuff. So I'm just balance. We're finding balance in life. Is there anything else? Oh, last thing is, some of you may have noticed, some of you may not have noticed, but I have merch-ish a little bit. Like, I haven't really advertised it. I haven't been like, hey guys, I've got merch, so go buy my stuff. I've just kind of like printed out some test sample stuff like a month and a half ago, and I've just included them in videos to see if anybody noticed anything. So like at one point I was wearing a Topher Reacts t-shirt for a few reactions, and some people are like, oh, that's a cute shirt. Pretty much every reaction I've had my Topher Reacts coffee mug at some point where I'm sipping tea or sipping whatever the hell I've got. Tea, whiskey, whatever the hell I have in my cup at some point. Especially when I'm watching these series, Lord, I'm always sipping on something. But yeah, so I've got that available over on Redbubble, where I've gotten most of my BL merch. And I only really have the one design right now, but I'm working on a couple of designs. I'm not really a graphic artist, so it's taking me a little bit longer to, just kind of figure things out. But I'm working on a couple designs for, like certain catchphrases that I say, whenever I'm talking about like consent is sexy, or, what's my other one? We're normalizing male intimacy. That's another one that I'm working on, in addition to just my normal Topher Reacts logo and whatnot. But yeah, that stuff is available over on Redbubble. Maybe I'll include a link, maybe I won't. I don't know. I mean, it's a Google search away. Find it. But that's also a thing that's happening and things that are in the works. But I think that is the majority of what I wanted to talk about. I talked a lot longer than I expected to. This is a much longer channel update video than I expected it to be, so I'm going to stop talking so I can go eat dinner and then get back into my recording session that I was in the middle of here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it was informative. If you have any questions, you can leave them down. Questions, comments, concerns, put them down in the comment section. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Love you. Mwah. And before you guys go, a shout out to my amazing patrons. I can't begin to express how thankful I am for your support. And if you guys would like to join us over on Patreon, the link is down in the description. I love you guys.